We are here now.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
No, sir.
What is happening?
No, sir.
What is happening?
No.
It's excited utterance. It's taking
Don't allow the
place.
intrusive thoughts.
Please stop. Please stop. I cannot.
Welcome. Oh, God. Welcome to a 3-hour-long episode
Jesus Christ.
of This Week in White Supremacy. It could be. I mean, we really could record all day.
Yeah.
Just about yesterday.
I mean, CNN did it.
Yeah. I mean, again, you know, we actually talked to Free Speech CB about technology to allow us to go live under special circumstances because they have some improved stuff. So hopefully, maybe one day.
I mean, I'm sure Trump's going to give us an opportunity.
Oh,
Like, I'm sure.
yes.
We have
already
almost 1,500 days to where,
Yeah. I'm just X. I'm co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media, where we said, you know what? I mean, if we're going to jail, we might as well sell some merch.
yeah,
Might as well.
put money on our books.
Before we go. And to my right.
I believe in miracles.
Hey.
You should.
Yeah.
I believe in miracles.
I feel like if you love me, you should record it and sing it yourself.
Oh, shit.
And that should be the next drop.
His voice is so great that, like,
It
I would
is.
not do any justice
His
to that
voice is
whatsoever.
Because you do
incredible.
know, like, Farouk is low-key. Oh, sorry. Super Villain Saeed is low-key an R&B singer.
But I can't sing like that. Like, that nigga's gifted.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
But I appreciate the vote of confidence.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. So how are you, Miracle?
That's
How
a
was
broken
your...
heart.
You know, I've been going through it because, like, only London gave us refuge.
Yes.
And only London
wow.
has offered us refuge.
True.
And so I'm kind of sad because I was like,
Yeah.
You
we
was
can't
doing
figure
so
it out.
Ghana.
London?
Huh?
Did you live in London?
No.
Okay.
You always go Ghana.
No, I'm
Yes,
part of the alphabet
Ghana.
community, and they were like, no, thank you.
Oh,
what?
Ghana said that? Oh,
What
shit.
about Nigeria?
No,
No, that's
Nigeria.
probably worse.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. If you're part of the alphabet community, that's probably, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Wow. Where is the refuge? No church in the wild.
I know.
Yeah.
Here, guys,
For us
I've-
black Americans.
gotta fix it and fight it.
Yeah.
And fight for it. But yeah, I don't know. It was.
Well, we need you here to help us to lead our fight against the empire, Miracle.
I
We
should have
need
probably
here.
had you doing the prayer.
Oh, my God.
Man.
Trouble?
Listen,
That's loud.
this music at this point is an affirmation. 'cause
Yes.
We're going to need it.
Yes.
We're going to need a lot of chill energy.
Yes.
It's your boy Trouble NLS. Never liked supremacy. Next level shaman. You know the deal.
Absolutely. And, sir,
I'm excited to be here.
yes.
Yeah.
You have any... Saeed doesn't mean anything today?
I'm sure it does. Yeah.
You're just excited to get to talk about what we saw, the inauguration, the
Someone
certifi-
affirming the impeachment of Donald.
Well, it's funny because Rolling Stone's headline was convicted felon sworn in as president, which, which I thought was interesting.
I think that's very inspiring for those of us with criminal convictions.
Exactly.
That's the way you can read that.
Exactly. So Donald Trump on Martin Luther King Day, his inauguration, it was held indoors.
And they wanted to invade Canada and Greenland.
Right, because it was cold. And then even like the indoor, the front row of Elon, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Google.
Yeah, what's his name?
I forget his name. He's an Indian brother.
Yeah.
The Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, like the whole, and they were like, they got seats better than like
His cabinet.
right? So to see that,
That's billionaires, bro.
yeah, true indeed, to kind of play out. And but you know, Trump did have a message. I guess you could say it's a message to us, black and brown folks and other communities. Did you want to play that clip, sir?
Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Those are sexes.
So Miracle, I mean, on Trump's.
No, Vivek already told them they do not qualify, so I don't know why they were there clapping.
Oh wow! On his first day, one of his first executive orders was to revoke Biden's executive order advancing racial equity and support for underserved communities through the federal government. He also revoked preventing and combating discrimination on the basis of gender identity or sexual orientation. He revoked organizing and mobilizing the United States to provide a united and effective response to combat COVID-19.
And be dead in the year.
Yes. So, ensuring an equitable pandemic response and recovery, that's gone. Protecting worker health and safety, that's gone.
That sounds inclusive to me.
He said everybody dies.
Yeah.
I mean,
fair is fair.
There we go.
Billie
Yeah.
Jean,
It's like
you
the
know?
Hunger Games. May the odds ever be in your
but
favor.
it is. It's like, again. Oh wait, hold on. The House Initiative on Advancing Educational Equity, Excellence, and Economic Opportunities for Black Americans, that's gone, right? Advancing Educational Equity, Excellence, and Economic Opportunities for Native Americans and strengthening tribal colleges and universities, that's gone. So what
How
was
are
your
you going to work for $5 an hour if you are educated and you know better? Like, I'm just very confused of why we're like shocked and surprised. But these are things that he had talked about for
Yes.
years. And here's the thing. You have not seen any Democrat response, any Democrat bill, any type of legislation to be introduced to actually protect all of these entities, all of these people. And that is part of the problem. Trump has said for years he does not support Black people in this regard. He doesn't support indigenous people in this regard. He has hired people who are his advisors who support Project 2025.
Yeah.
There has really been no alternative pushback. You have not seen Schumer come out and say anything. You have not seen the minority speaker of the House. You haven't seen him come out and say anything. You saw him walk, and do his ceremonial duties at the inauguration. You saw him standing right next to Trump as he signed these executive orders, just there. So we are in a place where the Democrats have been complicit, are complicit in everything that Trump is doing, and it's going to be up to the people to organize, fight back, and resist.
Right, and now because he has such unwieldy power, it's not just the Democrats, right? It's like it's Trump and this whole tech billionaire class, right? It was information coming out that just said that if you can't search Democrats on Meta, right? Or like TikTok, you can't put hashtag fuck Trump if you wanted to do that.
Fuck Donald
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What will happen if you do?
You can't do it. TikTok won't allow you to use those hashtags, but you can say fuck Obama and fuck Biden, right? And remember, it was even though Trump was the one who actually pursued the TikTok ban in 2020, now because he pushed it back for 75 days, he's now TikTok literally thanked him, right?
Yeah.
The Democrats are
Biden signed the bill. Here's the thing
Biden signed the bill. Yeah.
Trump will start a cesspool and then back away from it,
Yes.
and then watch you literally carry his crap.
Absolutely.
And then be like, they're carrying crap over there. I guess I got to go clean that up. That is the problem.
Yeah.
Biden did not have to sign the TikTok legislation.
No.
And
particularly after he got on TikTok.
Facts. And some of the things that I have talked about is if you were worried about people's data, you would have introduced a data privacy bill, a digital
100%.
privacy bill.
Miracle, now you're just talking logically. I think you need to stop. You're making entirely too much sense.
If you
This
are
early in the election.
if you are worried about foreign powers dictating what's happening with legislation, you would pass legislation to prevent foreign powers from getting involved in your elections. I don't know. Saying that they can't be PACs or can't donate to candidates. You would have put that on paper and enforce that. They didn't do that.
That sounds very anti-American, Miracle.
This TikTok bill was supposed to be about stopping China from getting our data, and you know what happened? All these people went in and signed up for red notes.
Yes.
And I think it's Douyin is how you pronounce it. I'm not 100% sure, which is the actual Chinese version of TikTok. So instead of protecting people's data, people said, if you're worried about China, I'm just going to give it to China directly.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get the app that I want to use. And it has been just a colossal failure from top to bottom. Biden. And it's going to be like, nobody cares that Trump said for 4 years, ban TikTok. He didn't do it. Biden did.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is the issue.
And we're going to get into Joe Biden and some of the things that he did.
No, let that man rest. Let that man go.
He did some stuff.
We're about to.
He did some stuff, on his last few days that we can talk about a little bit later on. Trouble, your thoughts on the inauguration? Did you watch?
I did.
Oh, wow.
I didn't watch it yesterday because we only acknowledged one person.
Yes.
Yesterday.
Yes.
But I watched it this morning, and I was a little bit concerned about his words about America only acknowledging two sexes.
Yes.
And especially because my driver's license and my ID both have X's on them.
Right.
So it's like, if he's drawing back companies being, unable to discriminate against, people based on their sexual orientation or
and it's
their
what he's
gender
doing.
orientation, what does that mean with my ID? Do I only get access to certain states? Am I not allowed to fly? Or anyone who has an X on their ID, like, what does that mean for them moving forward? And that's one of my biggest questions right now.
It means you're going directly to jail, Trouble. I mean, that's what I don't know. I mean, but that's a great point, right? Mm-hmm. But I think what it does mean is there's no federal government protections, right?
Okay.
So if you went somewhere and you were discriminated against because of that, there was previously like federal protections where you could, I guess, appeal to the federal government and say these federal guidelines say you cannot discriminate on these bases. Now there's no federal guidelines that say that. So basically you can, and these companies and these private businesses can discriminate. Like they can say, I don't want to hire black people. I don't want to hire queer people. I don't want to hire trans people. And there's no legislation that would allow us as black people or brown people or queer people or trans people to then sue them and say they're breaking a law. They're not breaking any law anymore.
Remember, like the Crown Protection Act? That so it repeals that also.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Farouk, what were your thoughts?
I have thoughts.
Yes.
Share them with the class.
So the thing that was the most interesting to me was just like how much God was brought into yesterday. And it just, I was like,
out of this.
Please leave God out of this. Like, God has nothing to do with anything happening right now. Everybody was just invoking God's name and Martin Luther King.
Yes.
And I'm just like, yo, I'm waiting for, a Ghostbusters poltergeist event to happen with all the spirituality they were bringing into this
I saw
evil
you
place.
say that. You said you said online, you said the inauguration proved to you that ghosts are not real.
Correct. There's no way ghosts are real. Because Martin Luther King should have came the fuck up out his grave, walked out there, and burnt all that shit to the ground. But instead, we had Trump chatting crazy about Biden in front of Biden, which was insane.
Right.
All the things that Biden didn't do and the ways that he let America become disrespected and everything. Biden sitting right there to his left.
Yes.
And Trump talking heavy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And the most interesting thing to me was I watched Biden's closing remarks and I watched his farewell address to America, and I watched his final interview on MSNBC.
Right.
I watched both of those, and in there he's talking like we have to do something. There's oligarchs coming. There's dark energy. It's like, nigga.
Yeah.
Biden acted like his last 4 years as president, he was a substitute teacher.
Correct.
Like he really had no control over anything. Like he was just like, well, settle down, class. Please be quiet. Your teacher's going to be back, next week. And it's just completely walking away from this fire with his hands behind his back. No pun intended, right? This is nothing. This is not a joke at LA. But he's walking away. Like, he couldn't have prevented all of this.
Right.
Like, he wasn't president for 4 years. Like, he did, and then furthermore, like, he didn't have an act passed by the Supreme Court that would have been indemnified him from anything he would have wanted to do.
Correct.
So I just don't get how
arrest Trump on the spot and let's get it popping.
you could have done whatever you wanted to do because
Yeah.
the official acts protected you.
Like, what if, like, right before Trump was sworn in, Biden got up and was like,
He's like, hold on, nigga.
Arrest him.
Yeah.
And then all the
It
guards.
ain't 12 o'clock yet, nigga. I'm still president.
And then it was like a standoff, like which guards were
Like
gonna
in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Like in the throne room, like everybody.
That's really what yesterday was like watching. Like, remember when Joffrey got up and started talking crazy about Ned Stark before he
Yeah.
executed him?
Yeah.
That's what Trump did yesterday.
Yes.
The only thing he didn't do was execute Biden, but Biden was worried about that, so he went and preemptively pardoned his whole family.
Yes, and that's one of the things, right? Biden not only pardoned his whole family, he pardoned Fauci.
Yeah.
I mean, he did.
I
Some
seen
right?
people saying, do innocent people need pardons? Yes.
Well,
absolutely.
Yes.
Well, again, if
He didn't pardon Kamala, and that was my thing.
I didn't pre that.
Like that was my thing. Like you know that the rest of your admin is under threat and attack to be prosecuted.
He said, "Oh, you wanted to run for president?
And he didn't
Get your own pardon."
He didn't pardon Kamala, and he didn't pardon Blinken, which is something that I think is very interesting because there is this whole idea of like you want to prosecute all these people. He's going to come back. He can't get jacked anymore.
He puts like the irony of like Kamala the prosecutor being sent
Kamala
to
the
prison.
prisoner.
Oh my day! Oh man!
Crazy.
Kamala the cop, the Kamala the convict.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That would be crazy.
The only other thing that I noticed yesterday that was super interesting was that none of the presidents that were there stood and applauded while everybody else was applauding for Trump.
Right.
Obama sat, Bush sat, Biden sat.
Yeah.
They were all.
Bernie was pissed.
Bernie was
like
tight.
mad. He was
Bernie
there.
was tight.
Yeah, he was tight.
Yeah,
But
you know
they
what I
were
mean?
all still there. This is the thing.
But they all were still there. Yeah.
Yes.
They learned from the funeral. This is what happened. They learned from the funeral.
Don't we all learn from death?
They did. Hopefully Obama learned. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder what that car ride home to Michelle was like. He
Obama
probably
didn't
sweating
say
bullets.
nothing. Obama did not smile. He was like, But it was very interesting how things played out yesterday. Of course, for me, I just saw like bits and pieces of the ceremony.
Did you get an invite?
No, it was inside.
Because I was looking for you when I was there.
I don't go outside when it's cold, right?
Yeah.
And they were just very kind. Like, it's inside. It's a smaller ceremony this year. Only like the people who've paid into our, into our system get to be there, and I didn't pay, so I didn't get the invite. What I found funny was one, like all those people who like flew to DC couldn't go and see.
Right.
True indeed.
It was like
True
it was
indeed.
so cold.
Yes.
But also just I don't know what desperation really looks like because like whatever, but it just seemed like everybody there was like just desperate for attention. Whether it was who owns Amazon?
Jeff Bezos.
His wife's, with her chest out.
Yes.
Was she there?
Whether it was Melania,
They caught Mark Zuckerberg like getting a little like, oh, what's going on over
Oh
here?
man.
Melania and her Hamburglar hat, the pastor.
Yeah.
Like, it just
They said she was like Spy vs. Spy. That was crazy.
like everybody just looked desperate for attention
Yeah.
and clicks, and like nobody really wanted to be there.
Was Jeff Bezos' girlfriend or wife was there?
I think she's.
Well,
I think she's his
I
wife,
think that's his
believe.
fiance.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his fiance.
Because I would say his ex-wife was not there, correct?
No.
Okay,
she's a
that's
good
what. Okay,
person.
my bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mackenzie's a good person.
Yeah,
Right,
she's a
right.
good
No,
person.
she knows she wouldn't do that.
For me, I mean, like, my thought was just like, to be a white man in America. I mean, it's just like, to be a white man in America means you have no accountability.
Yeah.
There's nothing you have to be accountable for. Even like you said, Biden gave his
I just got told that this weekend. So I'm sorry.
That you're a white man.
No,
he's about being accountable.
no, I have zero accountability.
So I'm saying, like,
I think we should sit there. I think we should.
No. We're not gonna.
There's the door, Miracle.
We're not gonna sit there.
There's the door.
We can say that for brunch with a black man, Miracle. Your interview part 2. Because I mean, again, like Trump clearly committed all of these crimes, had all of these felonies, and he's president, right? Here's Elon Musk. I mean, Elon Musk, somebody that like has a history of supporting like neo-Nazis. I mean, right now it's a far-right party in Germany that he's supporting. He has a history of uplifting these white supremacist Nazi accounts on social media. He was telling people, yo, hey, here's a podcast with a Holocaust and everybody should go listen to this. And literally does
insane.
right. This is Elon Musk. I mean, and not only that.
But do you expect anything less from someone?
Hold on. Not only that, his father said that his mother's family were part of the Nazi party. His father said this. So then he goes up and does a Nazi salute, not once, but twice.
He did it twice?
He did it twice.
I only seen him do it the one time.
Yes, he did it twice. And nobody cared. I mean, the ADL came out. The Anti-Defamation League came out and basically said, y'all just cut him some slack. You know, it's a new day. Can't we just all get a... Wait, what? But again, he's a white male billionaire. And it's this idea that because he has this money... And because of this power, like everybody has to bow down. So it was sad to me. It's one, I knew the fact that, I mean, he could have yelled Heil Hitler while he did it. And there still would have been no accountability because of the power that they have. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, you know, I mean, yeah, people will say stuff on Twitter, but who are you going to leave Twitter? Are you going to not buy any more Teslas? Is this going to affect his bottom line? No, because he's in this power position, and he's
insulated.
Right, Trump proved you can say anything as long as you like diss and marginalize people. You can say anything, do anything. All of these billionaires, man, had to bend the knee to this man.
It's crazy because
it's wild.
This remind me of The Man in the High Castle, right?
I never watched that show.
Oh, basically, it's a historical fiction drama where
if the Nazis
won, and then they have like instead of the stars and stripes, they have the Nazi swastika against the American flag,
right?
And when people they wear like a Nazi uniform, but it's red, white, and blue,
yeah.
And whenever they go and greet each other, instead of like a salute, they do the Hail Hitler,
yeah,
right? And then that's so essentially we've been seeing this on Amazon Prime. Right, we've been seeing, and then there was a novel about it. So now this is just like, is this life imitating art, or is this art imitating life? Like, I don't know which it is, but like, I don't know why anybody's surprised about this.
Here is the opinion editor of the Newsweek. As a person with a strong track record of criticizing Elon Musk, I feel extremely confident asserting this was not a Nazi salute. Elon Musk is a friend to the Jews. This is a man with Asperger's exuberantly throwing his heart to the ground.
Wow.
Okay.
But again, it's like it's almost like we're watching this game where like these are the people in power, so now we gotta bow down to them if we want to stay in power, stay in good graces, and get money. So it was sad to see Snoop go out like that, to see Nelly, like to see these people that you had respect for and love for, but it's like, oh, it's fascism now.
I have
if you don't bow down, if you don't, you know what I'm saying, if you don't cower to these powerful people, you get banned from social media, possibly, right? And it's like you can be thrown in jail. Your finances could be threatened. And this is where we're at right now. So it'll be interesting to see. It's almost like now we're going to see who's really about that.
You know, my only response to this is, where is Luigi when you need him?
Again.
They locked that nigga up,
they locked him up. They locked him up. But again, it's will we see? Because remember, who just hit the streets? 1,500 people.
The January 6th.
That
the J-Day heroes.
The Capitol. Beat up cops,
killed one,
right? And with all types of white ring, they back on Proud Boys leader, back on the streets. Oath Keeper leader, back on the streets. But again, I feel like in this moment, it's like who has the resolve?
Trump really came out like Jamie Lannister, or Tywin Lannister. Lannister always pays his debts. He was like, "Yo, stay loyal to me. I got you." And what did he do first day?
There's another.
The thing that's scary about this.
Yes.
Trump first day was like, "Yo, I'm gonna do everything I told you I'm gonna do.
But it's also makes me think about how the Democrats never do that.
That's what
Democrats be coming in.
It shows you that it's as easy as just having the conversation of just like, I'm going to do it.
We gotta try to
It's just that easy.
Everybody gotta, we wouldn't want to do that. It might offend this other populist.
Miracle,
other
listen,
side.
for 4 years, Miracle has been saying, if only they would just do it. If only they would just do it.
Like Nike, man.
Like Trump came in and said, hey, listen, that LGBTQIA shit is gone, right? Affirmative, all that, gone. January 6 people, pardon, they out, right? Yeah. He told you what he was going to do on the campaign trail for how long? He said, first day when I get in there. First day, I'm changing everything. I'm taxing Canada. I'm taxing Mexico.
Not first day out, but first day in, right?
First day in.
No, well, he didn't do the tariffs.
He didn't do the tariffs. He said February 1st he was going to start implementing the tariffs.
He didn't do the tariffs.
Yeah. He said 25%.
The price of eggs are even higher. If that was why you voted, sucks for you. But he's trying to end birthright citizenship.
Right, and
he's saying ICE is about to start getting busy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Overlooking
today.
Yeah, today. ICE raids are supposed to happen today.
Miracle.
Any of us safe?
Miracle.
The first
Where do we go
anti-trans bill that has passed in over a decade was signed by Biden last month.
Wow.
So this,
and you also had a lot of these Democratic senators sign this Laken Right, including Reverend Ralph Warnock.
Yeah, man.
Because here's the thing, my problem is, like how Beyonce was like, she's the hardest person in the room. I am tired of Summer Lee being the only person who stands on business in Congress.
Come on, man.
I am tired of it always falling down to the women, the black women, the brown women, the impacted women, to be the only people who stand on business and actually fight for other folks.
Right. Well, again, they know, these other Congress people know that when you do that, here comes AIPAC, here comes hundreds of millions of dollars, and you could lose your seat. So a lot of
that doesn't make sense because
a lot of these votes are, I want to keep my seat.
That's ridiculous because when you get into Congress, you have the most money you've ever had. You have the most popularity you've ever had. You have lifetime health insurance.
So why are they doing it?
You have lifetime support.
Why would somebody that's a reverend that knows
I'm
that
trying to get there.
Come on, get there.
But you get to that power and you get intoxicated by your ego and you forget the people you're supposed to be fighting for. There is absolutely no reason that Laken Riley bill should have passed without actual immigration reform. And there is even no promise that immigration reform is coming. So what you are saying is that you're going to deploy thousands of ICE agents to go and arrest and to tear up families and to break up homes and to incarcerate people, other than no reason that you will not pass legislation that will actually fix the bill. And again, when you are invested billions of dollars in destroying other countries, you can't sit there and say, well, if we don't want refugees and migrants, we probably got to stop making refugees and migrants. At the end of the day, if you do not want people to seek refuge in the United States of America, then the United States of America needs to stop creating the conditions where people need refuge.
Yes.
We are talking about putting Trump's tariffs on Mexico, on Canada. We're talking Senator from South Carolina was talking about we need to break other people's economies. Well, if we're going to do that, then we have the responsibility to take care of the people that we are harming. If you do not want migrants in your area, stop assassinating leaders, stop trying to do coups, stop trying to disrupt other countries and let other countries exist, and stuff would be fine.
But that's if you actually care about people. Like you said, you started with somebody's ego and position. So it's like you got in this position, you want to stay in this position. You know that if you have a close race and if you vote against this, then they're going to run commercials about how you voted to keep the border open and rah, 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 rah. So again, it's like here are these people really looking at more so about I want to get reelected more so than the harm I could possibly be doing to the least of these that you're in your church preaching every Sunday about. You know what I mean?
You don't have to worry about commercials if you do your job. You don't have to worry about commercials if you stop playing politics with people's lives.
Yeah.
And that is the problem. The Biden tried to push the investment for America. It failed. He didn't push it again, right? You were not out there fighting for this legislation to help people.
Right.
You tried to push the one immigration bill, and you didn't do it again because you thought it would be a political talking point to be like, oh, Trump said not to vote for the bill and Republicans didn't vote for the bill. Okay, and what did you do when the bill passed, when the bill failed? You did nothing. That is the problem. Democrats are now like these do-nothing Democrats who literally just take loss after loss after loss, and nobody is inspired by them. Who was going to be out on the front lines fighting? Who was going to be out on the front lines doing...
Us, as usual, right? Us. We're going to be the ones.
You know...
And black people,
correct,
and brown people are going to be the ones doing it.
When we're talking about in this educational electoral system, that is the problem. And people like to say, "Oh my gosh, you know, the ads this, the ads that, the billionaires this." We've beat billionaires before.
Yeah,
Philly just beats billionaires with, you know, fighting for Chinatown.
Texas is mobilizing against billionaires.
It's easy to beat billionaires when you give somebody something to fight for. But when you lay down and be like, okay, well, you know, vote for me or this bad thing is going to happen, when bad things are happening, it does not work.
Right.
And we've said that time and time again.
And just for context, in Philadelphia, that was over the arena. That Philadelphia wanted to build this new arena. A lot of the people, particularly the progressive folks, did not want that new arena to be built, and they won. They're not going to build a new arena.
And it's not even just the arena. It's the fact that Mayor Parker was like, in order to do this arena, I'm going to throw all these communities under the bus, right? I'm going to bring in more police. I'm going to try to do stop and frisk. I'm going to do all these things. Right. And then we wonder why these are not good messengers for our communities anymore. And we wonder why when people see certain leaders, they're not inspired and happy and motivated to go out and vote for these folks when these people are doing harm locally. And so it really is going to be 4 years of figuring out what we need as a community and what we are going to fight for as a community. When we talk about gay marriage, we know that Pennsylvania recognizes gay marriage. We know that Pennsylvania recognizes the diversity of gender, right? So locally, we're good. On the federal level, we're not. And that happens because we elected people on the local level to fight for our communities, to stand for our communities. And we are now having people to go back on the local level and push these protections. And that's where it starts. But when we're talking about why Trump is here, we talk about immigration. Biden is the one who closed all these immigration offices for the past 3 years. Right, Biden was already putting people in ICE. There were ICE raids happening all the time. There were people who were being threatened to be deported. There were Palestinian protesters who were students who were threatened to be deported. That Biden just let happen and did nothing. And so now when Trump does it, now we're like, oh, we got to fight back.
You mean those protesters at the ADL wanted to put in jail? But then, and I do want to get back because I did want to get you all Trouble and Farouk's take on Elon Musk. The ADL called it an awkward gesture, not a Nazi salute. And then they said that, it seems that in a moment of enthusiasm,
like throwing people with autism under the bus. Kyrie just shared
all he did was share a clip.
Not even a clip.
That dude, they gave him 10 things
to do.
Go to every bakery.
It was going hard.
Mad shit.
Kyrie, like all these people that they have come out. There was
could you imagine if Kyrie?
That's a fantastic
you know how when you when LeBron starts an NBA game and he gets the chalk and like throws the chalk. Could you imagine if Kyrie came on the court and did this whatever Elon Musk the same thing before a game? How that would be taken. But again, and this is this was I thought was most interesting because Rolling Stones had an article that like if you don't think it's a Nazi salute, guess who actually thought it was a Nazi salute?
Nazis.
Neo-Nazis. Somebody, is one neo-Nazi posted, it said, I don't care if this was a mistake, I'm going to enjoy the tears over it. Nazis were posting it with, smiley face emojis. One Christian nationalist platform said incredible things are already happening.
Wow, incredible.
Yes. And then far-right author Keith Woods, whom the Southern Poverty Law Center has called a self-described ethno-national anti-Semite, shared the clip writing, okay, maybe woke really is dead.
Speaking of Woods, Did anybody see James Woods crying on TV?
Yeah, we kind of paused, but we missed that. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And I was like, good, nigga.
Yeah, I mean,
Fucking bitch.
Again, so it is going to be interesting to see, particularly all these people that voted for Trump.
Yeah.
Wanting maybe, better things for businesses or more opportunities. One, if that actually transpires, because when you look and see all of these billionaires up there, it doesn't seem like this is going to be a movement for average working class people.
No, and I don't. And
it seems like it's going to be a cash grab.
What's interesting is Trump. CNN was talking about this yesterday, and he was saying, while moving away from conservatism, I don't want to be known as a Republican. I want to be known as a common sensist. Well, common sense tells you that everybody that is working class is going to be directly impacted by this. The moment you've seen all these billionaires and all these people who, coming out for Trump in droves and supporting him, he had all these, what's it called, the conservative leaders from around the world who are anti-immigrationists, who are fascists, at the White House yesterday, or at least were on the invitee list.
Yes.
Common sense would tell you that this is not America. This is not an America that welcomes you or has you in mind for its future. But instead, you're championing this and you're lauding this and you're applauding for this.
Yes.
And you are essentially celebrating your own grave being dug.
That's deep.
You're just not intelligent enough to know that the tombstone hasn't been wrote yet.
Exactly. And just real quick, before we move on, the whole piece around Trump not putting his hand on the Bible.
So I'm not surprised that is the thing I probably take the least umbrage with.
But I'm saying, could you imagine
if Barack didn't,
if Kamala Harris had won, and didn't put her hand on the Bible, their heads would have exploded. Oh my God! I mean, there would be.
So what did he do? Did he just hover it? Or
no, he didn't. He just put his hand up. He put his left hand up and his right hand. Melania was holding the Bibles. It was like 2 Bibles that he was supposed to put his hand on. She came over and was holding them, but he never put his hand. But again, all these religious evangelists, they all had excuses for Donald Trump. Oh, the ceremony was rushed. He didn't sing. But if that was a Democrat, they would be going crazy. It's like, come on, y'all, really?
That's what I said. Why are we bringing God into this? What does God have to do with any of this?
It doesn't. Bro, if Trump looked down on those Bibles, spit on them, and kicked them, drop kicked them out of Melania's hands, they would make an excuse for that.
They would say he was trying to clean it.
It doesn't matter. He can do it. These white men can do anything that they want. And because this is Donald Trump, these dumbfounded, confused followers are just going to accept whatever he does and make it. Like you said, they'll be on their deathbed with no health care, saying "Oh, but we still love," with a MAGA hat on, dying, saying you still love Donald Trump. And it's like, if he's going to be your death.
I mean, Jonathan Metzl wrote this, dying of whiteness. They are not afraid to die from their own ignorance.
These people are like, oh, look at Barron Trump. He could be president. Because his name is, you know nothing about this dude.
Nothing.
But because his name is Trump and he's a white man, you want him to be your president.
You see he's 6'7"? I wonder if he could dunk. I was like, who's this tall kid walking out? This is Barron. I was like, damn.
Dunking undocumented folks out of there. I'm just saying, I mean, this is how they're. So, okay, so let's get into the hip hop portion of our show, right?
Miracle just let out a sigh.
Because Miracle's always, again, Miracle is right. We need to get those shirts. We need to get the Miracle's right shirts. Because Miracle's also quick to talk about how black men are the weak link, the weakest link, correct?
No, I just want to point out that our good brother Damon Young.
Yes.
Yeah, he said Snoop has always been a sellout. What?
Oh, you jumped over.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jumped on top of her thing.
You know what? It's fine. But he posted receipts to this article he wrote on July 15th, 2020. That said, a reminder that Snoop Dogg is a sellout.
Oh, wow.
And I just want to point out
in 2020 he said that.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Here we are in 2025.
Yes.
Was I joyful that, they got to have Soulja Boy, out there entertaining.
But
the
Soldier
masses.
Boy been a clown. I mean, come on, man.
Whoa.
Soldier Boy has been a clown.
Put some respect on young
Soldier
Draco.
Boy has been
Drake.
his whole brand is he's a clown. That's what I'm saying. Soldier Boy's whole brand is he's a clown.
Not the first
That's his whole
rapper.
brand.
Not the first rapper to go famous. Not the first rapper.
He's a clown. So it's like Soldier Boy. I don't even care that he did this. Snoop, come on, bro.
But here's the thing.
Yes,
Soldier Boy said he needed a check and he got it back. Made sense, right?
100%.
Nelly out here should have learned from Soldier Boy to either say he got paid or to be quiet.
Well, let's start with Snoop before we go, because Nelly done did 10 interviews.
Snoop broke my heart a little bit, right?
Yeah, Snoop.
And I could have understood if it was just like there are some events that happen every inauguration, regardless who's president.
Right.
And this is the inauguration, democracy shenanigans. That could have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
But what they performed at was the actual Trump event. A Trump sponsor Bitcoin
crypto balls, I think what they called it, yeah.
And I was going to parking lot the fact that crypto is stealing money from black communities, and the majority of people who lose money on crypto are black men. We're just going to parking lot that.
Okay.
We're parking lot that.
I didn't know that, but okay.
Yes. Because that goes up and down the coin fails, and it's really stealing money from black people.
I got a friend who's dumped his whole life savings into crypto, and he's just like, I know when it pays off, I'm gonna be a millionaire, so I don't worry about hustling right now. I'm like, yeah, okay. I got some beachfront property in Idaho I could sell you also.
But again, I think the what people took was in 2016, Snoop had this to say about anybody that would possibly perform at some Donald Trump related event.
Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck out one of you Uncle Tom ass niggas for doing it. Which one of you niggas gonna do it first? Osby's the one that performs for himself.
You can pause that. It's wild because Elon Musk posted it, reposted it.
Crazy.
The vibe shift is real. You know what I'm saying? So again, I mean, and I'm not somebody that's watching pockets, but like every time I turn my TV on, Snoop's doing some type of commercial. Like, is it like, again, Soldier Boy probably need a check. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what Soldier Boy, if he's getting money or not. Snoop is on every major commercial on TV. The NFL playoffs, he's there too. Like,
he did the Olympics.
Yeah, like, do you need this, Snoop? Like, did you need this check too? And so to do that and to be with all of these Make America Great Again, and I mean, he hasn't commented on it. I'm disappointed too. I mean, it's like, it's like seeing these individuals that you thought was gangster and you thought stood on, like, coming from the neighborhoods we come from. It's like, oh, they're going to stand on a certain level of business and integrity. That shit's out the window.
Yeah, and it's interesting because he mentioned Uncle Tom, and now Uncle Tom is synonymous with Uncle Snoop. You know what I'm saying? And also,
wow,
I'm not
look at you out here being an Uncle Snoop.
You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
That's crazy.
And also, I'm not too surprised given the fact that Snoop is a Libra. And I feel like he's going to jump the side that he feels is winning at the time. And at the time he made that video, he probably thought, oh, like, it's popular to hate Trump, so this is the side that I'm on. So yeah,
it's funny because
the video is taken down.
I have some Libra issues as well.
Interesting enough, but
my moon signs a Libra.
The video's taken down. But earlier, Snoop did an interview, and he said, "Did you notice when all that voting was happening, all that hoopla was going on with voting? Notice how I was nowhere to be seen. I wanted to be like that because I don't believe in separating people. I believe in bringing us together." And he said,
Uncle Snoop,
I don't choose either one. So how did he go from saying, I intentionally stay around from voting electoral stuff,
to
now picking a side?
I mean,
going, Nelly, I know I felt bad for Nelly a little bit because he
Why?
said no one's ever invited me out before.
Play that Nelly clip. Play that. This is an amazing. Shout out to Willie D who interviewed Nelly. This is like the 10th interview Nelly has done since he agreed to perform at the inauguration. Go ahead, brother.
I am honored to be performing for the office, for the president of the United States, regardless. Ain't nan another president asked me to perform. Nan. Ain't nobody called Nelly. I would have performed.
Well, ain't nobody. Well, nobody ever asked you to come to a Klan rally either.
What you mean? Why would I go to a Klan rally? I don't live in a Klan
Maybe
country.
they got a check for you, Nelly.
Well, this is a Klan country.
No, this ain't no Klan.
No, this is a Klan country, man.
Where is it?
This is a Klan country.
Where it is?
I mean, shout out to Willie D. I mean, damn.
Save the children.
No one ever invited me
Education.
before, so they invited me. So again, I mean,
So
So you're doing that bad in your career that just an invitation is what it takes?
Yes.
That's
I'm
wild.
performing for the office of the president. Come on, man.
I
No,
see.
you're
I
not.
watched the full interview with Nelly, and I'm upset with Snoop, but I think I understand Snoop's rationale because Trump pardoned Harry O. Maybe that was his I'm gonna thank you by performing. Just
But
like he
don't
bailed
say
out
all
Kodak.
that.
I get it. No, I get it. I think it's
yeah.
corny. I think if Snoop hadn't taken such a strong stance in 2017, then I would have less reservations about it, right?
Yeah.
Nelly said in the interview with Willie D, he was like, I'm sorry you think I voted for who you wanted me to vote for. So Nelly was very he worded it terribly. I think his interview was terrible, but he basically made it seem like I don't have an allegiance to the black vote. I don't have an allegiance to who people think you want me to vote for. So I'm going to do what I want to do. And I get that, right? I don't think, though, to be honest with you, I don't think we should be upset at these rappers for performing for Trump. Why? Because why are we looking at them to be this moral compass? Why are we they're going to get a bag, they're entertainers?
Well, but again, I guess then say that, and then when we don't,
It's not like Kendrick performed there.
No, but I'm saying it's like a thing. It's like, again, you are your own person. You have the ability to do whatever you want to do. But then when we don't be mad when you get criticized.
Absolutely.
You gotta say, yeah, I did it. I knew you gotta know. Again, you gotta shine to whoever's around you. If you go to your people and say, hey, they invited me to perform in the Trump inauguration. You got to know there's going to be backlash for that.
There's an overwhelmingly majorative portion of hip hop that supports Trump.
1,000%. But again, I'm just saying, do what you want to do, but understand that there's going to be a backlash. So when there's a backlash, don't try to be like, oh, I just respect the office of the president.
Yeah, no, I get you.
That's all that I. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. I think
right. So it's like. What again? I feel like I'm in my miracle bag now. If you want to say what he should have did was put a statement out. I was asked to perform at the inauguration. I'm gonna perform at the inauguration. This is why. Or if you want to say I got this amount of money, I'm donating this to kids in St. Louis that's in need. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take this money, actually give it back to my community and get if you want to do something like that, then it's okay, you got a bag. You wanted to bring that bag back. You brought it back to your community. Even if Snoop said something like that, hey, look, I'm going to do this. The money that they pay me, I'm going to put in my foundation. I'm going to make sure these things. Then that way we can say, okay, we understand where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
But when you don't say nothing or when you try to make it seem like politics aren't involved, when we heard, it was a point where he was like, show me that Trump is a white supremacist.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, what?
And then he conflated Joe Biden and Trump's
right. Oh, Trump didn't sign the crime bill, and Trump, but at the end of the day, like you said, it doesn't matter if somebody plays. It's getting hot in here. Nobody's gonna walk off the dance floor. You know what I'm saying? No. Snoop and Nelly aren't gonna get ostracized. You know what I'm saying? And now Drake may.
Why did Drake come off for Trump?
No.
But if it was Drake, it would happen.
Drake called Not Like Us anti-Semitic.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Joe Budden called him the biggest Karen in hip hop.
I mean, it's clear. I mean, to file a lawsuit for
I think that
for someone who allegedly studies battle rap for a living, that's
right.
like you went out like a sucker.
Yeah.
Right.
But he studied it so he could have all them cases.
poor people.
What if when Drake goes to court, what if he's like, you gonna get that work, nigga? What if he said you're gonna get that work? Fight back, Drake.
No, I think that Carrie Underwood performing at the inauguration,
Crazy.
and shaking Biden's hand, Trump's hand, and refusing to shake Kamala's hand, and then shaking Vance's
Oh wow, I
hand
missed that.
should have gotten a bigger response.
So
Absolutely.
Kamala put her hand out and she didn't shake
No,
it?
she's saying she turned around, she shook Biden's hand, walked over to Trump, walked over to Vance, shook their hand, did not shake Kamala's hand.
Wow.
You know, and Kamala was sitting right next to Biden. So
I'm sorry, I was gonna say I seen the uproar on TikTok from black TikTokers for Rascal Flats. They're being upset that they perform. I was like, why are
Rascal Flats has always been part. Well, listen, God bless the Broken Road. They have been in the community for a minute, but yes, it is a betrayal. So I think it shows that it's not just the hip hop artists,
Right.
It is all the artists that are getting pushback for being a part of this inauguration, because you could have said no, right?
Yeah,
he
yeah,
could have had his daughter-in-law up there singing.
Do you
know,
have an approximate amount of what you would ballpark each artist was paid? Like if you could lowball it?
I don't know. There have been rumors that people have said they've been paid upwards of $4 million to
Jesus
endorse
Christ.
Trump. So I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what people do.
Will we benchmark 4 million, or that's like
I don't know. Right. I just know that the Black Marching Band had to be out there raising funds. To
Yeah, they ain't get
participate.
paid nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So
now? If here's my final question: is that money tax free because it comes from the government?
it won't come from the government. It
Right.
usually comes from the inaugural
It'll come from
committee.
his inaugural. Remember, all them people were donating to his inaugural committee, so it's going to come from that.
Okay,
You know what I'm
okay,
saying?
I got you,
yeah.
okay.
So usually you do have to pay taxes.
I have one final question for you.
Okay.
Now that Trump is president again, and I know as an American president you can only serve for 2 consecutive terms, can he be reelected after this 4 years? No? Okay, so that's it.
I mean, again, what executive order is he going to issue?
We don't know.
I mean, if Trump issues
I mean,
an executive order, again,
Right.
this man has the Supreme Court.
Well, I mean, as the law stands now,
we don't know.
As the law stands now, the Supreme Court can change that law. And if anybody was going to use the ultimate executive power
Right.
that they have in the presidency, he could say, I'm canceling elections and I'm not leaving. And that's not a
Right.
crime. He could say it's in our best interest, national security. And guess what? Trump's going to be there. So all the X and Twitter is going to be there. TikTok, Meta, all the zeitgeist, everybody's just going to push, we got to agree with Trump. You know what I'm saying? And so like we're at a point now where that's the piece. We don't know what this man is going to do. But whatever he does, he has the backing of like all the. Remember, ABC News just was like, "Yo, let me cut this man a $15 million check."
yeah.
Even though he went on that debate and lied over and over and over again, what judge, what person is going to want to try to go up against him when he is going to have the full weight of the government behind him? So he can do whatever, and not just the government, but all of this whole billionaire class as well.
I think it was a very interesting.
We're in a different point. I feel like Doctor Strange in Avengers, where he's like,
seeing all the different.
no, where he's like, we're in the end game now.
Yeah, listen.
We're in the end game, bro.
I think it was interesting that Trump's narrative and the language that he used yesterday, where he specifically called upon a time when Roosevelt was the president, that he was bringing America back to that area.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly the area where he's referring to. Is anybody's wondering when America was great, he's talking about his MAGA fantasy is when Roosevelt was president. And if you go back to the annals of history to see how black people, brown people, and other people were treated at that time, it wasn't great.
No.
So Trump is actually, he's painting a very clear and present picture of what America he's trying to restore.
Yes.
And I felt, to bring it back to the hip hop piece, knowing everything that was said at Trump's inauguration, everything that he's fighting to install, I do think that Snoop owes us an explanation.
Yeah.
I agree with
Especially
you.
when he took such a strong stance around, like, anyone who performs at his inauguration is cooning. Anyone who votes for him is like Uncle Tom ass nigga. It's like, all right, Uncle Tom ass Snoop. Give us an explanation.
Yeah, explain yourself.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see him walk this back.
Real shit. And then, like, my thought is, like, respect to Nip, but what would Nip feel about this if he were still here today?
I mean, again, I think that is interesting because Rick Ross, who also performed, has espoused a lot of like pro-black.
He was calling Drake a white boy for months.
Called Drake a white boy and all this. So again, I mean, that's the question, right? But I do believe that we're in this window where we're going to see a lot of people that we thought, right? It was like, we're going to see people who we thought were like really down for the cause. Like, it's like, oh, that's not, remember, like it was a lot of people that was down for the cause because like Black Lives Matter and saying Black Lives Matter was like they became popular, right? Everybody had their black squares. And so like to be part of this movement was like you're part of a popular movement, right? Now it's going to be interesting to see if those same like, like you said, wishy-washy type persons, not to call all Libras that, but those same, like now it's in to be down with like the winning team, the MAGA team, the tech team, right? Doge and whatever they're going to do, right? Now it's cool to be on that side of it. And so I believe like we're going to see a lot more people that we thought were down, pro-black, cool, really about it, start to like, begin to like genuflect to Donald Trump and, so he's the president. That's why I went to see Trump. And you know what I'm saying? Because he's going to be making these people. It's like, are you going to really be about business or are you going to bow down? Mm-hmm. And that's the point where we're in right now. And so it's going to be good to see who's really about that because you could like, he has the power to shut everything down now.
I just want to see who's no longer going to be black. You know how like when 2020 everybody was like coming out black and like, oh, my great grandfather was black. I just want to see who's like no longer going to be black. But Representative,
you can't wait for that day.
Like I knew it. Representative Ilhan Omar posted this on X. She said people are more upset at performers and artists attending Trump's inaugural events, but not upset at all the politicians who told him he was a threat to democracy. Going to these events are not serious. Yeah. Performers at least know they are there to perform and get paid, but these politicians who ran their mouths for 4 years and are now willing to be there and clap for him, that's who they should be mad at. They lied to you and your criticism, anger should be rightfully directed at them. Yeah. Also, she talks about that. But for me, and as someone who actually talks to black artists and works with black communities, what Nelly was talking about, the crime bill, has still been the sticking point for a lot of rappers, for a lot of individuals who have been prosecuted by the government. Remember the PPP loans? Love it, great. It was all who got in PPP loan trouble. It was people from our community. It was Biden's administration that was prosecuting black people once again. And you have to have a conversation about the reality that people will sit there and say, Trump is racist. Trump said X, Y, and Z, but Trump isn't the one who sent my family home. Right. Trump isn't the one who did that. And so instead of leading into those conversations, the Democrats decided to hire influencers who yell on our screen and called us stupid instead of sitting there saying, hey, like there is real hurt, pain, and harm from the crime bill, from these zealous prosecutions. I think that Kamala Harris could have been a person who talked about progressive prosecutors who could have leaned into her conversation around like why she was a prosecutor and how she was willing to engage black men and not just in a one-off barbershop conversation. And I think that was
everybody knows black people only go to the barbershop and cookouts.
No, but I'm saying I do think that was a misstep because there are a lot of people
fried chicken restaurants. Those are
and church.
I was in rooms where I watched black men beg for this administration to stop calling Trump a felon. Yeah. Because they were felons, their communities members were felons, the people that are organized with their felons. And they asked people to stop sitting there and saying, stop calling Trump a felon. It's hurting our communities. It's bringing harm. We do not get reentry support that we need from this administration. We're not getting the reentry help that we need from this administration. And it's creating long-term impacts. And the administration refused. So even yesterday, what did you see? A lot of folks saying, oh, this 94 felon and now the president.
How come they
and it's just...
Do you, Miracle, do you shoot Biden any bail over posthumously giving a pardon to Marcus Garvey, to, I guess, sort of pardoning Leonard Peltier, where he can serve out the rest of his term on house arrest. I guess it was like 2,500 nonviolent drug offenders. Does he get any bail for any of these pardons?
What's the point of a posthumous pardon?
So that the
family wanted.
Yeah,
people are asking like, "Yo, can you posthumously pardon Marcus Garvey?" It was the ask of Biden. He did.
Mumia still didn't get one. Though.
Yeah, no.
So Mumia can't get pardoned.
Right.
Really?
No. So
I did not know that.
Pennsylvania changed its pardon structure, so the governor does not have the right to pardon. You have to go through a series of interviews, and there has to be a series of votes before the pardon application gets to the governor's desk.
I did not know that.
Prior, I forgot the man's name, but it was a black man. He got pardoned. He left Pennsylvania, went to New York, killed a bunch of white women. I think it was like 2 white women. And as a result, Pennsylvania changed all of its legislative ways around pardon. But do I give Biden bail for doing what he should have done on day
one, like Trump did?
Day one.
Trump did it on day one.
No, because people have been asking Biden for years to engage the conversation, been asking the Congressional Black Caucus. I think Biden and the Congressional Black Caucus really have not been held accountable and responsible for the destruction of the black community and the black family. I think they both worked hand in hand to steal resources and create pipelines that put black men and women in prison. And they haven't been responsible and haven't changed and just like doubled down on the work. And I was talking to someone and they were like, watching white communities get help for the heroin crisis, knowing could have been the same support we got in the 80s for the crack crisis.
True.
And that would have stopped the violence. It would have stopped the shootings.
True.
It would have led for housing stability. It would have led for housing support. And the fact that we still do not have that, it is an egregious error. So am I happy that Biden on his way out did some good? Yes. Do I shoot him bail? No, because I know he had the ability to do more and I could have done more and was begged to do more and didn't. And the same thing with the Harris campaign. So many people had begged and pleaded for her to change tactics, for her to engage communities in certain ways, and she just refused to do it. And that's what the hurt and the harm is. A lot of people are rightfully scared about what these next 4 years are going to bring. But a lot of people spent the last 2 years trying to engage administration to make sure that yesterday did not happen and they were ignored. Mm-hmm. And that's the truth of the matter. We can't sit there and say that we're fighting for people, but then we throw them away and we cast them aside. We threw immigrants away 3 years ago. We threw trans people away 2 years ago. We threw Muslims away, last year. We stopped fighting for reproductive justice as soon as it became a thing to fundraise off of. We could have had better protections for abortion care and abortion support, and we refused to do so. And then Biden on the last thing, like, I think the Equality Act should be ratified. Well, sir, you could have done that 2 years ago. Black women could have had more investments and support from the government 2 years ago if you had made this determination. So it's things like that where you can tell he was trying to save his legacy, but it was like a little bit too late.
Mm-hmm.
And
too little, too late.
I'm happy BMF is home, right? But Big Meech is about to throw a welcome back,
on
concert.
Day,
I really want to go to the concert. I can't, because y'all make me work, in these unfair conditions. But
coming in at 4 degrees, 4 degrees outside.
I'm not gonna lie, it was wild cold.
But
-2.
I do want mass liberation for our community. I wanted Biden to sit there and say, what I did for my son, I'm gonna do for y'all. Anyone who has this felon not to possess, you're getting a pardon. Anyone who has these drug charges, you're getting a pardon. Anyone who has these, you lied, I think you're getting a pardon. I think that would have been amazing to see. And my fear is that a lot of these rappers are now going to start pushing Trump to do these pardons the same way they did January 6th. And if that happens, if all of our people start coming home because of Trump,
it's a whole different conversation.
It's a different conversation because then we see once again it would have been so easy
for
Biden to fight for our communities. And so I don't think Trump is going to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. I think Trump is going to do
as a calculated maneuver,
as a means to make sure that if he says in 65 years he's not going to give up, that people okay, well, he did this great stuff, so maybe we just keep him, you know?
I mean, that was the whole thing around the ceasefire, right?
Yeah.
Trump said, if this ceasefire does not happen before my inauguration, all this and this and that. And then when they asked Biden, like, do you give Trump credit? He was like, come on now. Like,
he said, is that a joke?
Right. He was like, is that a joke? He's like, no, all of us saw you and the woman who was at the United Nations reject every ceasefire. We saw it. We watched it.
Yeah.
Trump came out and said, I'm going to have a ceasefire before the inauguration, and he got it done. So, like, to try to make it seem like you did that, like, why wouldn't you do it when it could have maybe helped Kamala Harris become president? Unless maybe you really hate Kamala
we
Harris.
didn't want her.
That's a very real possibility.
I want to maybe
because really and truly he has to feel embarrassed that they forced him out.
And I think it may have been the New York Times that just said like all this war could have stopped, but Blinken wanted it, right? So now we're going to be in the situation where it's like your mans did this, like y'all did this. We could have been a happy, healthy, well, not healthy. We could have been a happier country, you know, working on different things. But you wanted to make everybody miserable.
I, for one, Miracle, can't wait to go on vacation and dip my toes into the Gulf of America.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Maybe you're gonna come out more patriotic.
Like, what is wrong? Like the Gulf doesn't make sense. Put it as the Gulf of Mexico. We call it the Gulf of Mexico. We know leave it alone. Like no, but like sir.
But again,
him talking about invading Panama yesterday. Yeah. Taking back the Panama Canal. His speech was like something out of a sci-fi movie or like, you know, where there's a villainous character.
There actually was a book about what we're seeing happening right now, including the LA fires, which is the Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler.
And it was predicted in the year 2025.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
I feel like these books are like just people who time travel and they're just like,
it must be. Well,
I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
Speaking of books, our book today, our white pages is Power Concedes Nothing.
Man.
One woman's quest for social justice in America, from the courtroom to the kill zone. Connie Rice. It's so funny because the first person, the first person that gives praise for it is Condoleezza Rice. Maybe this shouldn't be. And then the next person is William Bratton, the chief of police.
Damn.
Oh.
Damn. Maybe we picked the wrong book.
I think it was Connie's sister.
Maybe we picked the wrong book. to give you, but Power Concedes Nothing, Connie Rice, that's our white page. We should have looked on the back.
Yeah, damn. Our bad. You know, players fuck up
You have to read everything. You have to read everything. 40 Laws of Power got nothing on that.
Oh my God. That's hilarious. Final words, Miracle?
Final words, take care of yourself. If you are in the Pittsburgh area and if you see ICE, make sure you contact CASA San Jose so we can implement our safety procedures. We look out for each other. We support each other. We are the ones we have been looking for. And so just make sure that you're taking care of your neighbors and continue to fight back against fascism.
Absolutely.
And
Trouble?
To specify, she's not talking about ice on the ground, even though it is very cold. That's not the type of ice we're talking about.
Yes.
Also, if you didn't notice, Trump said that he was going to ensure free speech on social media platforms.
Right.
Which means that now more than ever, media literacy is of utmost importance.
Yes.
So with that being said, Media Academy starts January 27th.
Absolutely. Yes. Sign up. You can go to all of our social media at One Hood. Farouk?
Man, fuck these niggas. I'm going space.
That's what Trump said.
He did. He said he's going to Mars. He said he's going to put a flag, the Stars and Stripes on Mars. Maybe I'll see him there.
My last words, I'm quoting the great Miracle Jones.
There we go.
Our consciousness does not stop at a border. Our liberation does not end with an election. Our solidarity cannot be bought by a billionaire. Our commitment is to the beloved community. That being said, we are One Hood. We hope to see y'all next week. We hope we make it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We hope next week we won't be in jail. But if we're here next week, tune in. This week in White Supremacy, y'all. Peace. One hood.